What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be jumping in doing a team building guide for the God Goku here, the INT LR God Goku. This should be arriving in game probably a few short hours after this goes live on the channel. So it looks like the effective category here is Exploding Rage. Obviously we're just going to be facing off against the God Goku the whole time through the 10 stages. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Exploding Rage category here. Oh, would you look at that? We have already a really solid use for the brand new Kid Goku. He's physical type, so it's perfect because he's going to have type advantage in this event. The only problem is he's not an LR, because remember, in any LR EZAs, you want that legendary power link skill active, so you want to be using as many LR characters as possible. He is not an LR, but obviously he is still going to be a huge asset for the team, because he is a really good support type unit, and the fact that he can hit some really high damage numbers, I think he might still be able to pack a bit of a punch here. He's certainly going to be a better leader than, like, Beerus, right? Who's just, like, a completely old, outdated Dokkan Fest at this point that, like, desperately needs an EZA. But yeah, we have quite a few good LRs on this category, so you can make some pretty LR-heavy teams, so that's definitely not going to be too much of an issue. All in all, it is a pretty small category. There's a very specific type of character that they have in here, right? It's all, like, the Namek Gokus, the full power cards, right? The Brolys and Friezas and stuff. But it's a very select pool of characters here. Some Gohans. But if you'll notice, there's a pretty even split between dark and light, between the super and extreme types. It's kind of like half and half. So the consequence of that is that a lot of the builds that we're going to put together are like cross contaminated between super and extreme characters. So we're not going to be linking up the best and stuff, but I don't imagine that this is going to be like the toughest EZA to get through. So yeah, we should be fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at all the units that I deem decent for this event, and then I'll show you guys the team builds that I put together at the end. Okay, so yeah, first up we have the physical Kid Goku here. This guy is an absolute monster, so he is going to be 170% Exploding Rage leader, so that will be really, really useful as a potential lead and friend lead for the category. There are quite a few characters that you can get on the 200% leader skill as well with these two categories, so that is pretty good. So yeah, this guy is going to be providing lots of defense and damage reduction toward allies, which is insane. Like, giving damage reduction to your allies is kind of crazy. But yeah, that's what this unit is. It's absolutely insane, right? And then he's also giving some buffs to Youth and Dragon Ball Saga, which you're probably not going to have too many of those. I suppose there's some Youth Gohans and stuff on the category, right? All of these Gohans are Youth. I mean, I suppose they're... No. Well, yeah, the Kid Gohans are on, like, the Youth category as well, so you could have one of each of those, but that's about it. And then Dragon Ball Saga. There aren't very many Dragon Ball Saga characters on here, aside from this Aider right here. I don't think that there's any. Yeah, so as far as that buff, you're probably not going to be giving that buff to many characters, namely just himself, right? But there's one more important part that I want to mention here with his kit, and that is his unit super right here. So because he's a TUR and not an LR, he's not going to be hitting as hard, right? But if you're able to get off this unit super attack and massively raise his attack, then potentially, especially because he gets some additionals, right, he could actually make a little dent because he's got type advantage too. So he won't have that legendary power active, but he still could do some damage for you. But of course, that's only if you're able to get that massive attack raise with the Hachan in the same turn. So you do have that STR Hachan, which we will talk about more later, who you can utilize with this guy. Okay, so next up, I just put Beerus here because he is another type advantage Exploding Rage leader. Obviously, he's not as good of a leader as the Kid Goku, but if you don't have the Kid Goku, you could always run this guy as your leader and then run the Kid Goku as your friend lead if you wanted to. But yeah, this guy is really bad. I would say you just want to hide him as much as possible. He gets hit really hard. He's just old. He just needs to be better at this point, so... Yeah, that's just kind of tough if you have to use him. Okay, so then we've got the Super Saiyan Gohan, the LR Super Saiyan 2 Gohan here. He is going to be a decent leader. You can build a Kamehameha category team on Exploding Rage. There are enough units for sure. Might get a little bit wonky because I think you'd have to use like Rose, like the LR Rose Goku Black here, because he is on Kamehameha. Yeah. I'm not sure if there's like quite enough super type units to do that, but you might be able to. We'll see at the end here. Yeah, so he could be a really solid leader. He's going to be decent, but not amazing, because he does have to stack defense. So he's not the best like turn 1 character to be depending on, especially now that he's kind of aging out a little bit on global anyway. I did mainly include him in this guide because I kind of wanted to make this a dual guide for, like, the event is coming out on global right now, but there's a really solid chance that it's going to come out on JP in a few weeks or something, and if not, then in a few months, right? But eventually it will come to JP, and I want this video to kind of expand its lifespan for when it comes to JP. Maybe people will then look up this guide again. So I do want to include some of the characters that are only on JP right now. But yeah, that's why one brief mention toward this Gohan, because if you're on JP doing this, then this guy is going to definitely be a good leader and an amazing card to depend on, like one of the strongest attackers that you could bring into the event. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the Carnival Goku here. I actually should probably put this Goku first, because they're both Super Saiyan Goku, and you can only use one of them in an easy A. But I think the INT one is actually better, because the Tech one, while he's probably better overall defensively and stuff, he has type disadvantage, which, even though he's guarding, that still just means that he's going to be doing less damage, whereas this guy is going to be doing a ton of damage for you. And he's type neutral, so he won't have that holding him back either. And on top of that, you can use this guy's leader skill if you wanted to. You could very easily build a Legendary Existence Super Saiyan. Legendary Existence is reserved for cards like Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan Bardock, Broly, and Beerus. And all of those characters also happen to be on Exploding Rage, so you can definitely build a very, very good team with this leader skill here. However, Powerful Comeback, there are very few characters on the category that cross over with Exploding Rage, so it'd be very tough to use this guy as a leader. So yeah, I would say if you have both, you definitely want to look more toward this Namek Goku here than the Carnival LR. But yeah, that's basically it for them. Then we've got Mr. Fraudulent Beast Gohan himself. He is actually going to be one of the better units for this stage. His leader skill is not very usable. There aren't enough Gohan cards to go around. Those are the only Hybrid Saiyans, and he is actually like the only superhero card on the entire category. So yeah, there's literally not enough units on the category to make up a team for this guy. So yeah, you can't use him as a leader, but he is a really solid option to just throw on the team, right? He's got type advantage, and he's an LR, so he'll be providing the legendary power link skill. And then obviously, you know, people like to clown on this guy, but he is actually still pretty decent, right? He's gonna put out some decent damage for you and stuff. And let's see, he has a high chance of nullifying Ki Blast super attacks. Does the enemy launch Ki Blast super attacks? I actually don't remember what kind of attacks. So his Ultra Super is an unarmed super, and then his 12 Ki is a Ki Blast super. I don't know which super attack it actually launches at you in like when an LR is an enemy. I've never paid attention to that before, actually. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on that to see, like, an enemy character that's an LR, do they hit you with their 18 key super, or do they hit you with their 12 key? I'm not sure. But if he does hit us with this 12 key, then that would mean Gohan would have a chance to nullify, so that would make him even better for this. Where are we at here? There we go. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much all with this guy. Okay, so then we've got the Full Power Frieza card. Probably not a usable leader skill here. There's not very many, you know, this is it kind of seems like more of the good cards are on the super type side than the extreme type side anyway. But yeah, I just don't think you're going to be able to use this leader skill. There's not quite enough units to fill that out. You might end up having to use a team of like mostly TURs and stuff if you went with this leader skill. So probably not a great idea. But if you find spot to throw this Frieza on the team, then definitely can be just as helpful as the Namek Goku. They have very similar kits. So. Alright, so then, yeah, Physical Janemba. He's going to be one of the best defensive characters that you can bring for sure. Type advantage and being an LR, like, perfect. Checks all the boxes, right? And then he is another person that gets the high chance of nullifying Ki Blast Supers, so same deal with Ultimate Gohan as him. Yeah, and this guy guards on top of having type advantage too, so that's going to be really, really helpful. Okay, and then the only TUR unit that I'm mentioning here is the Hashan, because most of the other TURs are... There are a few that are kind of usable, right? Like, you've got the... what is it? The... Where am I at here? Oh my goodness, sorry. You've got the AGL Cell. This guy. The AGL Cell, right? That's like a decent TUR. He has some power. You've got this Broly here. I mean, I suppose like a Heroes unit could be thrown in, but... yeah, like this STR Namek Goku, right? There's a lot of powerful TURs, but none of them really provide anything to the team. They would just be kind of fill-in options. This is the only one that actually provides something to the team. Because, you know, I like to point it out when there are TURs available for these LR EZAs that have amazing defensive capabilities or support capabilities for the team. Because oftentimes it can be better than running some, you know, low C-tier LR character just for the legendary power, whereas there's another character, you could sacrifice the legendary power Link's, you know, Link skill, and then just run them because they give support or something like that, or they would be very, very solid defensively, and you knew you could depend on them to not get you killed. And I think this is one of those units only if you're running the Kid Goku, because the Kid Goku needs him for, you know, to allow him to do more damage, and then, you know, this guy himself, like, he's not really needed on the team other than that. But he can definitely, like, hold his own. He guards after receiving an attack. So basically, the first hit you take is going to be at a normal damage rate, and then the next attacks you take after that, and it's for 3 turns. So basically the entire time you're running that EZA stage, right? Then he's going to have guard up. So he'll tank pretty well. He also gets some damage reduction. Once he gets hit 5 times, he's going to be up to 40% damage reduction, which is really nice. And then he gets his additional stats with there's a Goku's family ally on the team, which most likely there will be, right? Especially if you're running this guy with the Kid Goku, then there definitely will be. So, yeah. So this guy definitely could be decent. And he's also on Bond of Friendship here, so he's on the 200% portion of the leader skill for Kid Goku. Okay, so with that, we will go ahead and switch over in-game real quick, and I will show you the teams I put together. Alright, so this is the first team that I put together. This is kind of the build that I was envisioning. I think this is pretty strong. Obviously, there's, you know, because we have a generic Exploding Rage leader up, there are a lot of adjustments that I could make to this. You know, because there are plenty of other LRs on the category in general and stuff. I just figured this would be a decent one. You know, the plan here is to maybe run like a Kid Goku and Hachan rotation, and then run like a Janemba and Ultimate Gohan rotation, or so. It doesn't really matter, honestly. Like, you could do whatever with this. I feel like you'll be able to get through the 10 stages with these characters, because they're all pretty decent for you. So here's an example of that Legendary Existence Super Saiyan team. This is a pretty powerful build as well. Yeah, you could probably turn this into an all LR build if you wanted to. Actually, I don't know, because you are somewhat limited. Yeah, no. I think you do have to use some of these TURs here, and I think this would be a much better team for, as an example, for the JP version, because they have the LR Gohan already EZA'd, so he's going to be a lot more powerful. And then this physical Bardock, I threw him on there too. Obviously, he is going to be a bit of a liability, but after his EZA, he is insane. So on JP, he's going to be a very usable unit for this EZA. He also has type advantage, so that helps him out a lot. But yeah, on Global, you could maybe replace that for like the physical Beerus or something like that. Yeah, you've got a few options for sure. Okay, so this is a Kamehameha team here. This is another, really solid one. Again, the teams start to get a little bit repetitive because this is a pretty small category, so a lot of the best units are rotating around. But I'm just showing that there are so many different leader skills that are actually really, really usable in here. So everybody should be able to put together some type of team. It's very unlikely that you don't have a single one of the units that I'm showing here that can be used as a lead. So, and then last up, we have the Super Saiyan Broly, the Dragon Ball Super Broly, that can be used as a lead as well, because this is our movie boss's full power team. So yeah, this one could pack a punch for sure as well. And there are lots of good LRs that are going to fit together well here, it seems, on this team build. But yeah, so there we go. Let me know what you guys think about this EZA. Are you excited for it? I am pretty excited for it. Actually, what we should do right at the end here, since we have this interesting global first predicament, let's actually go over the card details really quick. Because usually I don't bother doing that in these videos, because the unit's already been out for months and months on JP, and I feel like most people know what's coming. And if they're coming to the video to, to come and watch the guide and see how to beat the event, it's probably because they already have the character, which means they're probably already looking forward to the EZA, they already know what it does, blah, 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 right? And it's usually pretty easy to find out in-game and stuff. But because this is brand new information, I guess we will go ahead and go over his card details real quick too. So, he is a pure or hybrid Saiyans category leader of Key 4 and 150%, which is pretty solid. 150%, they definitely couldn't go any higher than that, right? Because most of the best units in the game are on pure or hybrid Saiyans. So if they were to give him like 170% or something like that, this would probably be one of the best leaders in the game to be running for sure. But I think 150% is still like solid. That's still decent to get you through events, assuming you are running like a 200% leader skill on the friend side, right? And with these two categories, you can make tons and tons of 200% teams. Like, if you had a 200% leader that's on one of these teams, that's pretty common. So basically, you just need a 200% leader that leads one of these categories that he's on, and then you can run them as the individual leaders, right? And this, seeing as this guy is on so many different categories, there are a lot of different ways to do that. Okay, so he gets greatly raising attack and defense on both his 12 key and 18 key. For the 18 key, he stacks that for 5 turns now, which is really good, because previously he only stacked that for 3 turns. So yeah, that is definitely solid. He's getting key 2 and attack and defense 100% at the start of turn. And then he is doing an additional 50% attack when performing an ultra super attack. Okay, that's good. He's going to be hitting pretty hard, right? Okay, he gets an additional key up to 5, and then attack and defense up to 55% per Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans category ally on the team, self-excluded. So, okay, so if you have a full Pure or Hybrid Saiyans team, then he's getting 55% additional stats, which, perfect. And you're pretty much always going to have that, right? Or maybe like minus like 1 or 2 characters, so you'd maybe be getting like 33 or 44%, but that's still really good. Okay, then he gets an additional key 3, defense 50%, and high chance of evading enemy's attack, and performing a critical hit for 10 turns. Okay, so he's getting key 3 and a high chance to evade for 10 turns, and then performs a critical hit. High chance of performing critical hit, because there's no comma right here. That means that the high chance is talking about both the evasion and the critical hit thing right here. Otherwise, there would be a comma right here, and it would be like a separate clause, and then it would have its own, like, performs a crit, would be like guaranteed, right? So yeah, high chance, so 50% chance to evade, 50% chance to crit for 10 turns, and then a medium chance of evading starting from the 11th turn, which, this is such a meme. Like 11th turn. What event are you still playing at the 11th turn? That's just ridiculous to me. That they even feel the need to like include that on a card. But it does beg the question of if they're planning on shifting the meta. Because for the longest time now, ever since like Super Battle Road kind of popped up, well, maybe not that far back, because we had like the legendary Goku events and stuff that were like long form events too. Dragon Ball History is a long form event, so they do offer some like short content and some long content. But my point is, even through like Dragon Ball History and stuff like that, right? You're only fighting in those for like 16 turns at most or something, which definitely does qualify. That's like long enough for something like this, right? But those aren't the hardest stages in the game. Like, the hardest stages in the game that are like really, really tough for people to beat are Extreme Super Battle Road and Red Zone stages. Those are like the main two things, right? And then the Cell Max fight. And all of those things are very, very short fights, generally speaking. You know, there are a few of them that could maybe bring you to around the 10 turn mark, but that's about it. Like, there really is, you don't really go much further. So with some of the characters, they've just like shadow dropped these random abilities in here. We've got like this guy with the medium chance to evade, starting from the 11th turn, and then we have like the tech LR Rose Goku Black and Zamasu EZA. They have to get hit like 20 times to fully build up their passive and get all the ki out of their passive that they can. But it's like, where are you getting hit 20 times? You would have to be in an event for so many turns, right? There are quite a few other characters like this too that I could go on and on of the examples that they've kind of released these mechanics that don't really make sense in game now. But another really big one is the new 8th anniversary LRs with their new like standby skills. They need a lot of time to reach the point where they can get their standby skills, and to be like, for the GT LRs, they need a lot of time to stack their attack before they go into standby mode so that their Spirit Bomb can hit really hard. And then the other one needs a lot of turns to add up the charge counts and stuff so that their Spirit Bomb can hit really hard. But it's like, in all of these short form events, there's no way to get them all maxed out. So I really, really hope that maybe sometime during the 8th anniversary over there on JP, they will release something that's like a super long stage, like something that takes like an hour, and you're just like battling through turns and turns and turns, and you have to like use characters that are going to stack up for a very long time, right? I hope that there is some type of content like that around the corner. That way it will give, some better use to some characters that can't be used much because they're not like hot out the gate turn one, But anyway, let's move on to his links. So he's got Godly Power, Warrior Gods, Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Over in a Flash, Shattering the Limit, and Legendary Power. Bummer that he has Shattering the Limit instead of, like, Prepared for Battle or whatever. Yeah, he kind of got shafted on that one. Over in a Flash is not the best either. Yeah. I kind of wish this guy had better links. They're like really standard links, but they just feel, they're like safe, right? Like, screw it, they should just give this guy like First Awakened, right? That would be cool. That's a really, really powerful attack link. But yeah, so he's got a lot of, average links, but decent enough. Realm of Gods, Pure Saiyans, the categories here: Realm of Gods, Pure Saiyans, Goku Family, Kamehameha, Turtle School, Miraculous Awakening, Legendary Existence, Bond of Friendship, Accelerated Battle, Battle of Fate, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Bond of Parent Child, Warriors Raised on Earth, Superheroes, and Power of Wishes. I think damn near all of those have 200% leads. He's on so many relevant teams. There's going to be a lot of places to use this guy. And then stats, looking very, very good. Pretty solid indeed. Yeah, so that is the full kit for this guy. I think he's going to perform pretty well. I am excited to use him in game for sure. Excited to flaunt this on all the JP players for the few weeks that we can. Use him immediately, because I guarantee you JP is going to be getting this guy very shortly after us. But anyway, that is the entire guide. That is everything that I have for you guys. So let me know if any one of the team builds that I put together is helpful for you. It's going to help you take on this event. If you want to see more guides like this in the future, then consider being a part of the Toxic Tribe with a like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. That is going to do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!